working. Is it working? Yeah. Alright. It was a little buggy there, but yo, what's up, everyone? We're back. We're continuing. The reason why I made a part 3 real fast is because I was going over the Old Testament, and then this one dude, pretty cool dude, jumped in the video, and we kind of went back and forth with some things, and kind of got a little sidetracked. So this is kind of just picking up right where I just left off, which was talking about. We went over like Noah's Ark and all that. So now we're going on to the Table of Nations, which is the account of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, or Japheth, whatever, which are Noah's sons, who themselves had sons as well after the flood. So you have the Japhethites, the Hamites, and you also have the Semites, you know. It's basically just you have a lot of people like the sons of Japheth. You have Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, Tiras. All these people. The Hamites. You have this Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush. Then you have like a whole bunch, you know. It says Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wait, what? He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The first centers of his kingdom were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Calneh in Shinar. From the land he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth. I'm so bad with these names. And Rezin, which is in between Nevi and Calah, which is the great city. Egypt was the father of the Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, all these different types of people, from whom the Philistines came, and the Caphtorites. Canaan was the father of blah blah blah. Later the Kenite clan scattered, and the borders of Canaan reached from Sidon towards Gerar as far as Gaza, and then towards Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, and Zeboim. As for Rasha, these are the sons of Ham by their clans and languages, and their territories and nations. It's a loud ass truck. Also, Kush, by the way, the lands of Kush and all that, that's basically what like Ethiopia kind of is now. Obviously, like, it might not be as big. Like, the lands of Kush may have been bigger, meaning Ethiopia was way bigger in probably different regions. Now it's shrunk down in size, you know, to what is modern day Ethiopia. Let's see. So yeah, it's the sons of Shem, Elam, Asher, Lud, and Aram, the sons of Aram, Uz, Hol, Gether, and Meshech. And it just goes on about all the different sons and their names. The region where they lived stretched from Mesha towards Sephar in the eastern hill country. These are the sons of Shem by their clans and their languages. So the Semites lived in the region where it stretched from Mesha towards Sephar. It's saying that, I guess, Canaan and all them lived in wherever the fuck. See, it's just going over like where all these dudes, like, they live, their kids, how they spread. Like, it's just kind of breaking down kind of how we end up getting to people like Moses and the Jews and stuff like that. Like, this is kind of just a breakdown of that. So not really too much to cover there, just the different sons, the different lands, their languages, all that shit, you know. Then we get to the Tower of Babel. What is that loud ass sound? You know what, let me load up these windows real quick. At least just the back ones. Well, you know what, it's fine. I'll just talk over it when that shit comes. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone, and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the faces of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city, and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so that they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there all over the earth, and they stopped building the city. That is why it is called Babel, because the Lord confused the language of the whole world. From there, the Lord scattered them over the face of the whole earth. Tower of Babel. Let me see if I can raise this up real quick. Okay. What can you still post saying it's already midnight? What do you mean? Like, what are you talking? School? School for what? I don't got school. Maybe you got school. I don't got school. um, from Shem to Abram. This is the account of Shem's family line. 2 years after the flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he became the father of Arphaxad. I hate these fucking names. They're always so hard to read. Shem lived 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad I don't even know, had lived 35 years, he became the father of Shelah. And after he became the father of Shelah, Arphaxad lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Shelah had lived 30 years, he became the father of Eber. And after he became the father of Eber, Shelah lived 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Eber had lived 34 years, he became the oh wait, shit. I think I like oh no, yeah, that's correct. When Eber had lived 34 years, he became the father of Peleg, and after he became the father of Peleg, Eber lived 430 years and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg had lived 30 years, he became the father of Reu, and after he became the father of Reu, Peleg lived 209 years and had other sons and daughters. Same thing, just going over sons and daughters. When Noah lived, and then we get to Abram. So it's basically just telling you, like I said, just how we get to certain people. Terah became the father of Abram. Haran became the father of Lot. While his father Terah was still alive, Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans, in the land of his birth. Abram and Nahor both married. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Mikah. She was the daughter of Haran. The father of both Mikah and Iscah, now Sarai, was childless because she was not able to conceive. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, the wife of his son Abram, and together they set out from Ur, of the Chaldeans to go to Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. Terah lived 205 years and he died in Haran. So yeah, just going over just how we got to where we got to. The call of Abram. The Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I shall curse, and all people on earth will be blessed through you." So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. He took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, all the possessions they had accumulated, and the people they had acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan, and they arrived there. Abram traveled through the land as far as the site of the great tree of Moreh at Shechem. At that time, the Canaanites, the Canaanites, Canaanites, whatever the fuck, were in the land. They were in the land, basically. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." So he built an altar there to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he went on toward the hills east of Bethel and pitched his tent, with Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. Then Abram set out and continued toward the Negev, something like that. You know, there's not too much to break down with these. These are kind of just like stories of how we get to where we get to so far. Abram in Egypt. Now there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down to Egypt to live there for a while because the famine was severe. As he was about to enter Egypt, he said to his wife Sarai, "I know what a beautiful woman you are. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' Then they will kill me, but will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I will be treated well for your sake, and my life will be spared because of you." When Abram came to Egypt, the Egyptians thought that Sarai was a very beautiful woman, and when Pharaoh's officials saw her, they praised her to Pharaoh, and she was taken into his palace. He treated Abram well for her sake, and Abram acquired sheep and cattle, male and female donkeys, male and female servants, and camels. But the Lord inflicted serious disease on Pharaoh and his household because of Abram's wife Sarai. So Pharaoh summoned Abram. "What have you done to me?" he said. "Why didn't you tell me she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister, so that I took her to be my wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go." Then Pharaoh gave orders about Abram to his men, and they sent him on his way with his wife and everything he had. Abram and Lot separate. So Abram went up from Egypt to the Negev with his wife and everything he had, and Lot went with him. Abram had become very wealthy in livestock and in silver and gold. From the Negev he went from place to place until he came to Bethel, to the place between Bethel and Ai, where his tent had been earlier, and where he had first built an altar. There Abram called the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who was moving about with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. But the land could not support them while they stayed together, for their possessions were so great that they were not able to stay together, and quarreling arose between Abram's herders and Lot's. The Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land at that time. So Abram said to Lot, "Let's not have any quarreling between you and me, or between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to the right, I'll go to the left." Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of the Jordan toward Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of the Jordan and set out toward the east. The two men were parted company. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, while Lot lived among the cities of the plain and pitched his tents near Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were wicked and were sinning greatly against the Lord. The Lord said to Abram after Lot had parted from him, "Look around from where you are. to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth, so that if anyone could count the dust, then your offspring could be counted. Go walk through the length and breadth. And go walk through the length and breadth of the land, for I am giving it to you. So, so Abraham went to live near the great trees of Mamre and Hebron, where he pitched his tent. There he built an altar to the Lord. Jesus loves you too. Yeah, the Old Testament, we're just kind of going over like basically the Old Testament, at least in Genesis, it just kind of goes over like how humans basically question God or question life itself, went against the natural ways of living, against kind of God's laws in some ways, kind of broke trust and relations with God, um, ended up getting so bad to where they destroyed themselves and everything, or God came and destroyed them, except for a few people who made it out, survived, and were actually righteous people who saw the right ways of how to be. And then slowly they gained their connection back to God, and following the right way, and also just kind of leading up on how we get to people like Moses and to the Jews and stuff. And then from there, that's the old, and then you get into the new, and yeah. But the old really, like I said, some of it's history, factual, some of it's metaphorical stories, some of it's a combination of both. So it's cool to go over and break down. Genesis though is like in the Old Testament. I feel like Genesis is like, it's definitely good to know a little bit about it and to get into it, yeah. But I feel like even though it's the first book of the Bible, it's still not as much needing of like a breakdown as like some other things are. But yeah, let us continue. Excuse me. Oh. Also, it's a little hard to talk. I have a bit of a broken tooth, and it's scratching my tongue, and it's fucking hurting. At the time when, so now we're at the part where Abram rescues Lot. I don't know what the fuck Lot got himself into. It seems like he got himself into a lot. Nah, let me let me stop. It was so bad. Let's see. At the time when Amraphel was king of Shinar, Arioch king of Elasar, and Kedorlaomer king of Elam. That's whatever. Naming these kings. These kings went to war against Bera, king of Sodom. And it says Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bala, which is Zor, or that is Zor. All these latter kings joined forces in the valley of Siddim, which is the Dead Sea Valley. For 12 years, they had been subject to Kedorlaomer. These names are whack. But in the 13th year, they rebelled. In the 14th year, King K, I'm gonna call him, or K, what the fuck, and the kings allied with him, went out and defeated Ref, Rephites. I can like not pronounce a lot of these names. In Ashtaroth, Karnaim, the Zuzites, and in Ham, the Amites in Sheveh, and the Horites in the hill country of Seir. As far as El Paran, near the desert, then they turned back and went. Basically, he's just saying who these people went and conquered. They conquered the whole territory of the Amalekites as well as the Amorites who were living in Hezezon Tamar. Like, bro, these fucking names are insane. But basically, it's just saying who they conquered, you know? Then the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zor, marched out and drew up their battle lines in the valley of Siddim against Keto. I'm gonna call him Keto. Keto, king of Elam. Tidal, king of Goyim. Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar. 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of tar pits, and when the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some of the men fell into them, and the rest fled to the hills. The 4 kings seized all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their food. Then they went away. They also carried off Abram's nephew Lot and his possessions, since he was living in Sodom. A man who had escaped came and reported this to Abram the Hebrew. Now Abram was living near the great trees of Mamre the Amorite, a brother of Eshcol and Aner, all of whom were allied with Abram. Now Abram was living near the great trees of Mamre the Amorite, a brother of Eshcol and Aner, all of whom were allied with Abram. When Abram heard that his relatives had been taken captive, he called out the 318 trained men born in his household and went in pursuit as far as Dan. During the night, Abram divided his men to attack them, and he routed them, pursuing them as far as Hobah, north of Damascus. He recovered all the goods and brought back his relative Lot and his possessions, together with the women and the other people. After Abram returned from defeating Keto and the kings aligned with him, the king of Sodom came out to meet him in the valley. The Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was priest of God Most High, and he blessed Abram, saying, "Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, and praise be to God Most High, who delivered your enemies into your hand." Then Abram gave him 1/10 of everything. The king of Sodom said to Abram, "Give me the people, and keep the goods for yourself." But Abram said to the king of Sodom, "With raised hand I have sworn an oath to the Lord God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, that I will accept nothing belonging to you, not even a thread or the strap of a sandal, so that you will never be able to say, 'I made Abram rich.' I will accept nothing but what my men have eaten and the share that belongs to the men who went with me. To Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them have their share." Not really much to cover or to break down with these. Like, these are all kind of just, you know, how we got to where we got to. Freaking, like I said before, Genesis is an okay thing to read and break down, you know. Still have 30 more pages to read until we get to Exodus. But I'm gonna cut it short because my last video I covered some and then went into that huge conversation. This video I covered still some a little bit, not as much. I guess I could reach at least half an hour, but it's that I don't really want to skip anything, you know, because it is all important, this stuff, like Genesis and everything. But I think I'm gonna, you know what, let me continue. Yeah, no, we'll cover it another day. I also gotta use the bathroom too, so yeah, that's Do I want to end it there though? I feel like it's so short of time. I don't know. It's just I'm kind of lazy right now. I don't want to continue reading. We'll read one more. The Lord's covenant with Abram. After this, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward. But Abram said, Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless? And the one who will inherit my estate is Eliezer of Damascus. And Abram said, You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will be my heir. Then the word of the Lord came to him. This man will not be your heir, but a son who is your own flesh and blood will be your heir. He took him outside and said, Look up at the sky and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, then he said to him, So shall your offspring be. Abram believed the Lord, and he credited it to him as righteousness. He also said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of the Chaldeans to give you this land to take possession of it. I'm big chilling right now. But Abram said, Sovereign Lord, how can I know that I will gain possession of it? So the Lord said to him, Bring me a heifer, a goat and a ram, each 3 years old, along with a dove and a young pigeon. Abram brought all these to him, cut them in two, and arranged the halves opposite each other. The birds, however, he did not cut in half. Then birds of prey came down on the carcasses, but Abram drove them away. As the sun was setting, Abram fell into a deep sleep, and a thick and dreadful darkness came over him. The Lord said to him, Know for certain that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there. But I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. You, however, will go to your ancestors in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the 4th generation, your descendants will come back here, for the sin of the Amorites has not yet reached its full measure. When the sun had set and the darkness had fallen, a small fire pot with a blazing torch appeared and passed between the pieces. On the day the Lord made a covenant with Abram and said, To your descendants I give this land, from the Wadi of Egypt to the great river, the Euphrates, the land of the Kenites, Kenizzites, Kedmonites, Hittites, Perizzites, Rephaites, Amorites, Canaanites, Girgashites, and Jebusites. Jesus, what the fuck? Keep cutting my tongue. Ow. The covenant of circumcision. Oh, jeez. This shit's insane. The covenant of circumcision. Like, I'm not gonna lie, yo. If someone straight up was like, yo, you gotta be devoted to God, son. You gotta cut the fucking skin of your dick off. I'd be like, y'all hear what this motherfucker just said? Y'all really doing that? Like, for real? Get the fuck out of here. Cause that is some crazy shit, man. Ooh, I'm about to hit this bitch right now. I forgot I had this thing. This just came in the clutch. Because I didn't want to roll up, you know. It takes time. Gotta sit there, break it down, roll. I love rolling. I love smoking my actual herb. But for the video, I don't want to sit there and be puffing and dropping ash everywhere and all that yada yada yada, you know. But the covenant of circumcision is insane. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, Yo, I am God the Almighty. I got a vape too. Hello. Hey, vape it up. This is a weed vape though, not nicotine. This is live resin. It's a haze, but in a live resin form. Solid. I love hazes. Hazes or anything high in terpenoline terpinolene in other plants is usually relaxing, but for some reason terpinolene in the cannabis plant, it interacts with THC and creates a very uplifting, very heady, very like just outgoing, the very sativa dominant high. So if you like sativas, like Jack Herrera basically, um, anything that's high in terpinolene is a haze, and hazes are going to be your most sativa dominant flowers for majority of users. However, you may have some that have opposite effects, but majority of people when they smoke a haze, very heady, sometimes it's a little too much, they get a little bit panicky, they start to overthink. But if you're using it to go out to read the Bible, to do anything, it's hazes are some of the best for that. Nothing beats a haze. So yeah, I love me my haze, especially for during the day. Like, I feel like that shit really just like, it got me talkative right now, which is why I need it, because I started getting a little sleepy. I was like, damn, you know. But I'm gonna hit it one more time and get back to reading about fucking circumcision, cutting dick skin, crazy shit. The Bible be wild. So yeah, when Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am God the Almighty. Walk before me faithfully and be blameless. Then I will make my covenant between me and you and will greatly increase your numbers. Abram fell face down, and God said to him, okay, and God said to him, um, as for me, this is my covenant with you. You will be the father of many nations. No longer will you be called Abram. Your name will be Abraham or Ibrahim. For I have made you a father of many nations. I shall make you very fruitful. I will make nations of you, and kings will come from you. And I shall establish my covenant as an everlasting covenant between me and you and all your descendants after you for the generations to come, to be your God and the God of your descendants after you. The whole land of Canaan, where you now reside as a foreigner, I will give as an everlasting possession to you and your descendants after you. And I will be their God. Basically, like, what I'm taking from this part is, when it comes to like the covenants and yada 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 and all this stuff. Basically, now this is where we're getting back into connecting with God. You feel me? Like like I said, Genesis starts off about with like how people stray from God, connect with God, then again stray from God, connect. It's all about just that struggle of staying faithful to God. But God's basically saying, like, if you stay faithful and you really follow me and you really truly obey me and you really just are faithful, like, you'll have everything you ever need or want or whatever. Just truly abide in my ways, and you and all your generations to come will have goodness returned to you. If you do good and you do right, good and right will come back to you and all your people to come. You know. This is wild. I like the reading material. Thank you. If you're really into like what I'm reading, this video, it's an okay one, but I've done like a few in the past. My few like part ones, part two, especially the New Testament ones. Those are solid. So if you really like this stuff, definitely peep like those when you can, smoke up and watch them, and I think you'll like what I talk about. Let's see. Then God said to Abraham, as for you, you must keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you for the generations to come. This is my covenant with you and your descendants after you, the covenant you are to keep. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You are to undergo circumcision, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and you. So maybe I guess it's also a covenant thing, but I also know it's for health and hygiene as well. You feel me? Saying, am I homeless? Guess. I don't know. It all depends on what you view as homeless. You know, I always feel like I always got a home. I mean, I guess by technicality, we can say that. We'll say that. We'll go with that. But when it comes to the way I think, no, I'm not. But it's all perspective, you know. So, um, then God said to Abraham, yeah, no, I read all that. Let's see. For the generations to come, every male among you who is 8 days old must be circumcised, including those born in your household, or brought, or bought with money from a foreigner. Those who are not your offspring, whether born in your household or bought with your money, they must be circumcised. My covenant in your flesh is to be an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised male who has not been circumcised in the flesh will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. God also said to, and this is, again, this is Old Testament stuff. So the Old Testament's very more different than the New Testament in some ways. So some things that seem a little extreme or a little wild or a little far fetched, definitely like, yeah, they are for sure. And that's where I feel like the New Testament with Christ and stuff comes to not change them 100%, but just to kind of take off the extremism and to understand that things aren't always 100% perfect, and like you're gonna have little things here and there that might not fully abide, but it's not the end of the world type shit, you know. um God also said to Abraham, as for Sarai your wife, you are no longer to call her Sarai, her name will be Sarah. I will bless her and will surely give you a son by her. I will bless her so that she will be the mother of nations. King of people will come from her. Abraham fell face down. He laughed and said to himself, will a son be born to a man of 100 years old? Will Sarah bear a child at the age of 90? 90? And Abraham said to God, if only Ishmael might live under your blessing. Then God said, yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you by this time next year. When he had finished speaking with Abraham, God went up from him. On that very day, Abraham took his son, Ishmael, and all those born in the household or bought with his money, every male in his household, and circumcised them as God told him. I need water. Jesus, I have cotton mouth. Insane. My phone is about to die, but I hope when I turn this on, it doesn't fuck up the. Oh no, wait. You know what? Let me do this. Okie. Okay, I think that works. Cool, cool, cool. Sick. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I never really mind if one person listens, a bunch of people listen. I had, in the one video, I had a decent amount of people. And then this video, it's a little different. You know, it's never gonna be 100% like always a lot of people. And I'm never expecting that. To be honest, I just do this to not just make myself read the Bible a bit more, but I also do this to just kind of have it recorded, so if I ever want to go over something, I don't have to find it and reread everything again. I can just listen to myself explain shit, you know? It's like a little audio notebook type, you know? So, said it's raining. Where you at? Where you located at? I'm in Jersey, so it's nice right now. We're entering like spring basically, or we're in spring technically. I mean, everyone's entering spring, but our springs are type nice, you know? Oh, you're in Texas? Yeah, that's far away. It's crazy. Texas is a tough place to be, man. Especially if you like weed. God bless you. you know. Yeah, no, it'd be nice in Jersey. It still gets a little cold. We're in our rainy season. You know, like the April shower, May flower. For us in April, like I don't know if you've ever been to Jersey, but April it's on and off, raining, sunny, raining, sunny, raining, sunny. Uh, Sometimes a little warm, sometimes a little cold, in that type of just weird era. But right after April, once you get to like May, June, like May, it's like that nice spring weather. Once you get to like June, you're entering from like that spring to summer. In Jersey though, recently, I will say, I spent 8 years in prison here. Damn. Well, I'm glad that you got out, yo. God bless you. I hope everything's better for you now. Like truly, whatever it was, it was hot as fire yesterday. Yeah, it be getting hot. I can imagine, yo. It gets hot here, but it's a different heat. Like I feel like y'all got dry heat. Fucking Jersey, it used to not always be like this, but it got like this over like the last like I would say about like 5 8 years. I would say it definitely got more muggy. Like we be having like Florida weather sometimes. Like it be that hot but muggy hot. Like you feel it on you. You feel sweaty. Like you feel sticky. Like I hate that. West Coast, Arizona. I'm guessing parts of Texas. You got like that more heat was dry heat. Like and that's definitely nicer heat. However, it do be getting hot, hot though, out there for sure. I hear so. But let me jump back. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised. See, that's what I mean. Like 90. I don't know how the ages fully work in the Bible, but 99 years old getting your dick snipped, and you the first people to do it. I can only imagine that shit was a mess. Yeah, no, the vape definitely helps it out there, especially like people aren't really gonna. They might smell real quick, but with a vape, you're most likely not gonna smell it, especially outside. Like you'd have to have it like blown in your face, like. So yeah, vapes are definitely good for out there for sure. Freaking, if you're ever in Jersey, yo, stop by Hashery, and shit, we'll hook you up with either a really good vape that you might like, or oh, it said a message was held for review. I don't know why it said that. Yeah, show the message. It said you had a friend got his done at damn, damn. And they don't be putting you to sleep, right? Or do they? They numb you. They put you to sleep. They have. Oh my god, I would die. I would die. My uncle, my grandpa's brother, um, pretty sure it was him. He had his done in his later ages, like 30s, I think, 40s, because his shit, he got like infected or something. That I mean, that is funny. Imagine you go from like it looking one way to like it just being so different. I'd be like, yo, bro, look at this. Like, what the fuck? Like I, that would be so confusing. I wonder what he thought. Damn. Imagine they snipped so much off that he was like, fuck, it's small now. Like it's skinny now. Like what the fuck? That is, that is type funny, yeah. But yeah, so Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised. His son Ishmael was 13. Funny enough. Abraham and his son Ishmael were both circumcised on that very day. And every male in Abraham's household, including those born in the household or bought from a foreigner, were circumcised with him. So, the three visitors. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre, while he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw three men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, "If I have found favor in your eyes, my lord, do not pass your servant by." Let a little water be brought. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get you something to eat, so you can be refreshed, and then go on your way, now that you have come to your servant." "Very well," they answered. "Do as you say." So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. "Quick," he said, "get 3 seahs of the finest flour, seahs of the finest flour, and knead it and bake some bread." Then he ran to the Lord. Then he ran to the herd and selected a choice, tender calf and gave it to a servant, who hurried to prepare it. Jeez, my reading's so off. He then brought some curds and milk and the calf that had been prepared, and set these before them. While they ate, he stood near them under a tree. "Where is your wife Sarah?" they asked him. "There in the tent," he said. Then one of them said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah your wife will have a son." Now Sarah was listening at the entrance to the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were already very old, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, "After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, Bink. Why did Sarah laugh and say, "Will I really have a child now that I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord?" "I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, "I did not laugh." But he said, "Yes, you did laugh." He said, "Motherfucker, I heard you. Loud as hell. You think because you in a tent I can't hear you? Fuck it, it's cloth. It's a cloth and leather. I can hear you." The fuck? Yeah. Abraham pleads for Sodom. When the men got up to leave, they looked down toward Sodom, and Abraham walked along with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, "Shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all nations on earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him, so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord, by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised him." Then the Lord said, "The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great, and their sin so grievous, that I shall go down and see if what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I shall know." the Jesus. "If not, I shall know." And then the men turned away and went towards Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, "Will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill all the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right?" The Lord said, "If I had 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I keep saying Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake." Then Abraham spoke up again, "Now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, though I am nothing but dust and ashes, what if the number of the righteous is 5 less than 50? Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5 people? If I found 45 people there," he said, "I will not destroy it." And then he's like, "Once again, what if there's only 40? And he's like, "For the sake of 40?" And then he goes, I guess God, he's like, "For the sake of 40, I will not do it." Then he said, "May the Lord not be angry, but let me speak. What if only 30? This motherfucker asking for a lot, you know? Like, He's like, but what if it's only 30? What if it's only 25? What motherfucker hit me with a lot of what ifs right now, you know? Like, but where was it? Oh, I will not do it if there's 30. Now that I've been so bold, speak. What if there's only 20? Then he said, for the sake of 20, I will not destroy it. And then again, may the Lord be so angry, but speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found? He answered, for the sake of 10, I will not destroy. When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left, and Abraham returned home. Like, what? Basically saying, like, bro, like, I don't fucking. He was like, what? He's like, yo, like, there could be some good people there, you know? You can't destroy the whole place to get rid of the bad, because there's some good people. You can't give those good people the same fate, you know? And I guess eventually he was like, I bet. Like, we'll figure something out. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, he can hear everything. Like, exactly. God know everything. So it's like, bro, who you trying to lie to right now? You know? Sometimes, though, I got a legit question. And my last video, you'll definitely know that I definitely believe in the Almighty God above. But I definitely have a question about, like, sometimes when they are talking and saying, my Lord, and the Lord talks back, sometimes I wonder if, even though they're talking about God, I wonder if in some of these stories they are talking about a physical king that was there in that moment, you know? Just based off how some things go. Not all the time, but just certain stories, you know? But but I'm probably gonna end it there. I got some things that I gotta take care of. I had this video and the last one, which the last one was supposed to be part with this one. It was supposed to be all one big video, but then I got kind of sidetracked with one conversation that we had with one guy, and that just kind of went on for a while. But yeah, like if you do like these, like I said, this video wasn't the best representation of one, I guess. But on my channel, if you go to the live video like showing, um, it'll show you like part one, two, three, like part one of Old Testament, part one of New, part two of New, part two of Old. Like you'll see them all, you know. But the new ones are definitely fun. Those I definitely break down a lot, and I had a lot of good shit to say in those. So if you fuck with this stuff, definitely yeah, you know, definitely peep those videos. It takes years to learn to hear. Yeah, it'll take a long time, and sometimes you think you hear it, but as you grow, you gain different perception, different perspectives on things in life, and you sometimes what you thought you heard changes to a new hearing, or it's not that it changes, but it might just now be applied to something different that you never thought of, you know, and then you really hear it. You feel me? So yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, you know, and sometimes shit. Sometimes, to be honest, sometimes you don't understand your parents until you experience what they experience. Like you could be all the way till like 18, 19, and still not fully understand. Like maybe you get it on like a book smart level, but when it comes to like a street smart or like an actual, like you've lived it, you've experienced, you've walked through it yourself, sometimes you never understand it until you walk it, until you get there. You feel me? So for sure, like I definitely get what you're saying, yo. But that's gonna be the end of this one. I'm gonna I gotta go take care of some stuff. Alright. I gotta go get my PO box set up. And then after my PO box, I also gotta use the bathroom. I got a lot of things I gotta do. So yeah, no, I will definitely catch you guys all later. Thank you, I appreciate that. You as well. To everyone else or whoever's listening, whoever watches the video later on. Keep on keeping on. Take care. Much love, much respect. Enjoy the day. Freaking, I don't know if I could turn the camera around, can I? Yeah, look, it's like beautiful out right now. All this green. And then there's like a water stream, but I'm in a park, you know. But yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Keep on keeping on. Much love and respect. And yeah, peace out.